Happy Friday, y'all. It's your boy Burrow77 coming back to you with another MLB play of the day. I know I have been a little out of pocket recently with Champions League, and then we had a pretty trash board yesterday where I didn't want to make a pick. So let me try and make it up to you today with a double dip. Today's baseball play of the day is going to be Dean Kreamer over 4.5 strikeouts at plus 125 on DraftKings, as well as Dean Kreamer over 15.5 outs at minus 115 on ESPN. Kramer and the Orioles are on the road at Kansas City, and first pitch tonight is at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's quickly get into why I like a double dip on Kramer here. First of all, I think that the weather down in Kauffman Stadium is setting up nicely to be pitcher-friendly as opposed to hitter-friendly. There's not a lot of wind, but it is blowing in from center field, and the temperature's hanging just shy of 60 degrees with very little chance of precipitation. Kramer is primarily a fastball pitcher. He throws a four-seamer, cutter, split finger, and sinker, which are all fastball variations. Kramer also likes to mix in a nice curveball here and there. I quickly want to mention that these stats are a little lopsided since Baseball Savant has switched over to all 2024 stats, as most pitchers are now getting up into their fourth outing of the year. As we can see here, his base on balls is really high, but I think that has a lot to do with having a small sample size. Kramer got roughed up a little bit versus Milwaukee, but we'll get into that more later. I like Kramer's stuff. He's coming off of a nice sophomore season and is looking to have a breakout year here in his third MLB season. Kramer doesn't give up a ton of hits, and when he does, he doesn't really let batters get the barrel on it. And as you can see here, he does have a really nice chase rate. One of the reasons I really like Kramer tonight is because I think the Kansas City Royals have been feasting on some garbage teams. The Royals have played 8 of their last 14 against the trash-ass White Sox. Trust me, I'm a White Sox fan. This team is garbage. And then the Royals also got to take advantage of Houston when they were going through a bunch of pitching turmoil and couldn't get a starter to go past 5 innings. So I think these numbers on KC and them hitting the cover off the ball are a little overinflated and due for some regression. As you can see down here, Kramer faced Kansas City in his first outing of the season. He pitched 5 1/3 or recorded 16 outs, which is over the 15.5 we are talking about. He gave up 3 hits, 3 runs earned, walked 1 guy, and had 5 Ks. Kramer then feasted on a poor Pittsburgh team and got roughed up at home versus a much improved Milwaukee squad. I think Kramer is due for a bounce back game, and let me explain why. First of all, I know Kansas City's been hitting the cover off the ball, but like I said, I think they've been feasting on some bottom feeders. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, MJ Melendez, and Nelson Vasquez have all been hitting the ball very well. But as you can see here on the right, that their K numbers are still high when they're not making contact. This doesn't even include Hunter Renfroe's stats because he hasn't been in the lineup all that often. So I see 6 very gettable targets for Kramer. So with 6 K targets, I think it's going to be pretty easy for him to get 5, and I love getting plus money on that. Kramer's been doing a really nice job painting the edge of the zone. As you can see here on the left, he's thrown 49% of his pitches on the edge of the zone, where the MLB average is 39%. Being able to deliver accurately at the edge of the zone is always a big plus when you're looking at strikeouts, because a lot of times umpires are content to give you something close if they think it touched the edge of the zone. And if you see at the bottom, I converted all of his stats from the previous slide into the props.cash layout where it's bar graphs. Makes it a little easier to read, but as you can see in 2024, he is off to a nice start, clearing both his Ks and his outs line in 2 of 3. Like I said, he got roughed up versus a Milwaukee team that I think is on the uptrend, whereas Kansas City has been playing a lot of bottom feeders, and I think they are due for some regression. Speaking of guys that I think are due for some regression, I want to mention these 4 hitters. All 4 of these hitters have been kind of eating off of poor pitching. And while the numbers for Kansas City's strikeouts look really down, and they are in the top 5 of the MLB being strikeout adverse, their hitting logs tell a different story and show me that they've all been striking out despite making good and hard contact for extra base hits. Miguel Garcia, Bobby Witt Jr., MJ Melendez, and Nelson Vasquez are all averaging at least 1 strikeout a game, if not more. As you can see, the line for over-under strikeouts on Nelson Vasquez is set at 2 today. And all these numbers imply that the sportsbooks also think these guys are very likely to strike out, being minus 190, minus 165, minus 225, and then plus 160 for 2. Long story short, I think that Kramer is definitely a step up in class from the pitching that Kansas City has been facing. I think the weather and hitting conditions at Kansas City are more pitcher-friendly than batter-friendly, and I really like Kramer to bounce back after his poor start versus Milwaukee. Give me the third-year pitcher over 4.5 strikeouts at plus 125 over on DraftKings, as well as Kramer's over 15.5 outs at minus 115 on ESPN Bet. That has been the Burr Oaks Baseball Play of the Day Double Dip for Friday afternoon. As a reminder, first pitch is at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Time. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you at the window. Let's see if we can get a double cash here on this Friday night, and I will see you right back here Monday. Quick aside, I have made sure to add all of the links for the tools I use to research right down here below. So if you're looking for the different websites I'm using for these graphics, you can find them. I've also included links to where you can find my additional content, but I'm not going to waste your time doing individual plugs because it's Friday and I want to get the hell out of here too. Enjoy your weekend. Oaks out. Doses.